And that, my friends, is how America was made great once again. Breaking at this hour, Jimmy Sengenberger is currently at the crossroads of politics and economics. Radio broadcaster master, now the celeb on the web. He's the smarty of the party. He's in cahoots with the grassroots. Jimmy at the Crossroads brings you thought-provoking commentary, hard-hitting interviews, original satire, and the best bumper music known to man. Jimmy at the Crossroads!
Gonna talk money, gonna talk politics. Great for all generations. Oh, what a great mix, I said. Gonna talk money, gonna talk politics. Great for all generations. Oh, what a great mix. I got Jimmy at the Crossroads, making sense out of nonsense. People want answers, they want to understand. They come to the crossroads and Jimmy gives them the plan. I said, gonna talk money, gonna talk politics. Great for all generations. Oh, what a great mix. I got Jimmy at the crossroads, making sense out of nonsense. Come on, Jimmy, what you got? Policy and markets, elections, current events. The broadcast master shows us how to win. I said, policy and markets, elections and current events. The broadcast master shows us how to win. I got Jimmy at the crossroads, making sense out of nonsense. Gonna talk markets, gonna talk politics, great for the generations. Oh, what a great mix, I said. Got cash money, talking politics, great for generations. Oh, what a mix. I got Jimmy at the crossroads, making sense out of nonsense.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to a Free to Choose Friday. Yet another Free to Choose Friday here on Jimmy at the Crossroads, bringing you engaging, intelligent talk, saying style, and coming in partnership with the Washington Examiner. Such a pleasure and a privilege to be with you today. 101 episodes. You remember 101 Dalmatians. We've got 101 episodes under our belt now, or at least we will after today's edition of the show. So great to be with you here on the program that makes sense out of nonsense day in and day out, or at least we try to do our level best to accomplish that very objective, which is exactly what we're going to do today as we focus in on vote by mail and the facts on vote by mail with two experts in a state, my home state of Colorado, that was the third to implement statewide vote by mail as a system. But first, I want to remind you to please, if you have not done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jimmy at the Crossroads. Follow me on Twitter at Sang Center. That's Sang with an E, not an A, Center on Twitter. And of course, like the Facebook page, Jimmy Sengenberger Media Personality, facebook.com/Jimmy Sengenberger Pro. And log on to jimmyatthecrossroads.com for all of our content, the shop, and so much more. Plus, do not forget, you'd be remiss to forget about subscribing to, liking, following, all those good things to our friends and partners at the Washington Examiner on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, WashingtonExaminer.com. So great to be with you once again on a Free to Choose Friday. We've only got one bit of Milton Friedman today, most likely, and that's going to be our intro. Why do we call it Free to Choose Friday? Well, it's because we believe fervently here on this program that each and every human being is and of right ought to be free to think, free to act, and free to choose. And our patron economist here on this program for Free to Choose Fridays, Milton Friedman, had a book called, seminal work called Free to Choose and a television series of the same name. Here is how we would begin that television series. Indeed. Free to Choose Friday. And one of the key things about being free to choose in a democratic society is the right to vote, to help determine the direction of your local community, of your city, of your state, of your country. And that's what we're focusing on today. In just a little bit, we will be joined by Wayne Williams, former Secretary of State from Colorado from 2015 through 2019. Just a couple years, he took office just a couple years after Coloradans had put into place a statewide vote-by-mail system. Colorado was the third state to do exactly that. Matt Crane was a clerk and recorder for Arapahoe County, Colorado, beginning in 2013 when vote-by-mail was going into effect. He was a clerk, and also, by the way, at that time, Wayne Williams was a clerk of El Paso County, one of the three largest counties in Colorado. I think the second largest county in Colorado even at that time. So both of them know exactly how vote-by-mail was implemented, how it progressed, how it grew. They've been in elections for a long, long time, and I'm very much looking forward to getting their insights on vote-by-mail, which has spurred tremendous controversy in recent weeks, and especially in this past week with President Trump making all sorts of claims about vote by mail and giving his making his thoughts known on the Postal Service and federal funding and the Congress and various issues. So here is a montage. Let's start here that CNN had put together of President Trump making various claims in cut 7 about vote by mail.
By mail is wrought with fraud and abuse, and people don't get their ballots. When you do all mail-in voting ballots, you're asking for fraud. People steal them out of mailboxes. People print them, and then they sign them, and they give them in. These mail-in ballots where they send millions of them all over the country, it's going to be a rigged election.
A rigged election. That's President Trump expressing some of his justifications for being opposed to vote by mail. Although, as we'll talk about, he does make a distinction between mail voting and absentee voting, which we will get into with our expert guests, election expert guests here in just a few moments. But so President Trump, is no secret that he has been strongly opposed to the idea of vote by mail. And yesterday, the media was all a tizzy, put in a tizzy over what President Trump said here in cut 2 about the Postal Service on Fox Business, and particularly in terms of Democratic proposals to provide additional funding to the Postal Service at this point in time.
Now, they need that money in order to have the post office work so it can take all of these millions and millions of ballots. But if they don't get those two items, that means you can't have universal mail-in voting. If we don't make a deal, that means they don't get the money. That means they can't have universal mail-in voting.
It doesn't necessarily mean that. States like Colorado, for example, have implemented mail ballot voting of their own accord. However, one important thing, and we've stressed this on the program already, one important thing to keep in mind is that Colorado took about a decade to get to the point of having a statewide mail ballot system. Not only that, but in that decade and since, Colorado has been able to put in a number of great best practices to make this work for the most part. Work, I would say, pretty well in our experience. Colorado offers drop boxes, a place where voters can go to, even on election day, up to 7 p.m., and drop their ballot into a vote box. One of these drop boxes. They're monitored by cameras. Every single drop box has a camera to monitor it and to prevent against voter fraud. I use these drop boxes. That's how I cast my vote on election day or the day before election day. I'm always sort of a last minute voter. I have never actually mailed my ballot because I've never felt confident in the Postal Service. Those are just a couple of things that are aspects of a successful statewide vote by mail system. But that doesn't mean that a new state is going to be able to implement it and put into place all the different steps for voter verification and to train their election staffs on how to deal with these mail ballots and so forth. The point I'm getting at, and I've made before, is that mail voting works pretty darn well when you have all the things in place that need to be in place. Colorado, the third state to implement it, is a prime example of that. However, at the same time, you have to actually give it time to develop. You can't just jump ahead and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to make it happen in the next couple of months. Even if federal funds were to be poured out the wazoo towards the Postal Service and even towards states in terms of implementation, we're in mid-August. We're, 2.5 months away now from November 3rd, just about, in the election day? You got to be smart here. Now, Colorado's current Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, has been getting some attention now for making some different claims against President Trump. Yesterday, she was on CNN and responded to what President Trump purportedly said about vote by mail and the post office, in which she called it voter suppression.
So what do you do then if the USPS does not get the funding, right? If he blocks that funding, then what do you do? I mean, does that then put the sanctity of the election in question if it doesn't get that funding?
Well, Colorado's election model has built-in contingencies. So, for example, we send out ballots 3 weeks before the election day, and there's hundreds of mail ballot drop boxes across the state. And the majority of Coloradans, about 75%, actually take their mail ballot to a drop box. So one of the things that I've been doing is increasing the number of drop boxes. We added 91 last year, and then I announced funding for an additional 100 this year. So those are some of the measures that states can do. But I will tell you, the president is going to all lengths to try to suppress the vote. The RNC is suing in Pennsylvania about drop boxes. It doesn't matter what you do. They are coming with a lawsuit and lies to try to suppress turnout in November.
So that's the other side here. That's the Democrats from the current Secretary of State of Colorado. We will talk in the next segment with her predecessor, Wayne Williams, who again was Secretary of State for Colorado from 2015 to 2019, and former Arapahoe County clerk and recorder Matt Crane will join us as well. He was clerk and recorder from 2013 to 2019, January of 2019. I'm looking forward to talking with both of these gentlemen because I know that they have been tested through and through. They were here with the implementation of this statewide system, and they have overseen elections on a number of different occasions. So they are experts to be sure. We will get to their thoughts and conversation on vote by mail and the facts thereof coming up in just a matter of moments. Keep it right here. It's Jimmy at the Crossroads. I'm Jimmy Sengenberger, coming to you in partnership with the Washington Examiner.
Crikey, that was the biggest bloody mosquito I've ever seen. Wait. Coming in. Oh, good day, mate. You know, after a long day of kangarangling and croc roping, a man can really work up an appetite. Not to mention a whopper of a backache. I know a place, and that's why I like coming into the Back Out Steakhouse. The Back Out is the only place I know where you can sit down in a lumbar support Baca lounger and enjoy a big juicy bandicoot steak or a thick koala chop served by a licensed chiropractor. And as you partake of your meal, your server will provide you with a spinal manipulation, neck twist, the hip alignment, the full Matilda. One visit to the Back Out Steakhouse and your spirits will return like an Abbo's boomerang. So the next time your back goes on walkabout, and you're coincidentally, simultaneously craving a slab of cooked meat, waltz on into the Blackout Steakhouse. You not only feel good down under, but all over. Blackout Steakhouse! Good stuff, eh, Skippy? Bloody boomerangs. Blackout Steakhouse!
America's politics are crazy. The culture is in flux. That's why we work hard to help you keep up.
More politics, more culture, and more access.
We focus on the biggest stories of the day with some of the biggest names in politics and punditry.
Go to our website, WashingtonExaminer.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Fake cartoons. I'm gonna do the jumble. Who is it? What do you want?
It's me, Don Trump, Sir Elton John. I'm here to ask you a favor.
Oh my gosh, it's Captain Fantastic himself. So much glitter, so many sparkles, so bedazzled.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, I think. When referencing people in your speeches, could you please refrain from using my song titles?
Oh, you mean like when I called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man?
Yes, exactly like that.
Okay,
yes,
from now on, he's Madman Across the Water. How would you
Well, you see, I have a problem with that because
How
it's the
about
same
if
derogatory...
I call Tulsi Gabbard the Island Girl?
I know Tulsi, and I don't think she
Ben
would
Carson. Ben Carson is Honky Cat, that's all.
You can't call Ben Carson Honky Cat. That would be racist.
Why?
Ben Carson's black.
You know, I never noticed he was black at all. I never noticed that. It's funny that somebody like you, Elton John, would point that out to me.
Well, I don't...
All right, fine. From now on, he's Benny and the Jets.
Well, I suppose that's...
Benny and the Jets.
Yes, when Nancy Pelosi inevitably decides to have another round of impeachment, could you please refrain from saying the bitch is back?
It doesn't matter what she says. I'm still standing.
I suppose I'm just gonna have to live with that. Fine, if you don't want to help, I'm out of here.
Go on, get out. Hit the yellow brick road so fast and hard. Get out.
Oh, and one more thing, Don Trump. The lyric goes, hold me closer, tiny dancer, not hold me close with tiny hands, sir. Thank you.
Go on, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Let's see. Rhymes with impeachment.
Concerned about that trade deficit?
Breaking at this hour, Jimmy Sengenberger is currently at the crossroads of politics and economics.
It's like a tax. It's like a fee. It's like a penalty. This tariff really sucks up the trade deficit. And the jobs we'll save are tremendous. This is for the House, the Senate, the POTUS. You'll be saying crap every time you use the scam wow tariff towel. Look at this. It just does the work. Why wouldn't you want to pay twice the price for that washing machine? How much would you pay for this tariff? It'll make this microwave seem like it's brand new. And at only twice the price. Look at the way the tariff towel cleans your clock. Wow, look at that. So clean, you can see the future. You can see future tariffs coming from a mile away. Look at the way it polishes these stars. Boy, if that don't make you feel patriotic, huh?
I love paying extra. I don't even worry about it anymore, since the trade deficit will go down.
Look at this tariff. I love this tariff. It's like a security blanket.
All I can say is, scam, wow!
Scam Wow compels other nations to use their own tariff towels on our stuff, making our goods more expensive overseas. Whoopee.
The micro tariff is for everything, for lumber, for steel, even solar panels. It'll melt that trade deficit down. I don't know. It sells itself, America. The scam well sells for 25%. But if you call in the next 20 minutes, because we can't do this all term, we'll give you the second tariff absolutely free. That's 4 tariffs for 25%. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-RIP-YOU-OFF. ScamWow is not available in capitalism and is made in Washington. Beware of ScamWow grift. 1-800-RIP-YOU-OFF. Call now.